Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are currently in the midst of changing up our vehicle plans. We're moving away from the scout vehicles and moving into... I feel like there's two options for vehicles, right? And I've touched on this before. I feel like currently there are two primary advantages of vehicles. One is that they can potentially be extremely heavily armed and not have to deal with heat issues. So, for example, you can have an extremely large amount of lasers in a particular variant, but you want that to be a long-range thing so that it doesn't risk getting blown up, because it seems like vehicles get destroyed very easily now. As in, like, you don't get them back very easily. And so I feel like there's a niche there for long-range vehicles, but I also feel like there might be a potential secondary niche for cavalry vehicles, because as long as they have thick enough armor to not be super risky, I feel like you can get away with that. So I think both the fire support and the cavalry roles are viable for vehicles. I don't feel like the scout role at all is anymore. And I don't feel like anything that really engages without having a lot of tonnage devoted to it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. So we're on the lookout for vehicles that fit this new doctrine, but we're still in the process of actually... We're still in the process of actually transitioning over, so it'll be a little while before that's done. But let's go ahead and tick forward, get some repairs done here. Excellent. And that's the reason we readied the yellow jacket, is because we're just waiting on getting that... Well, that's the reason we readied the yellow jacket. I don't know what I was talking about with waiting on. But the reason that we readied the yellow jacket is, of course, because it's got that Gauss rifle, and it can just sit back and like sit behind our Juggernaut Lance and fire with super long-range weaponry and be pretty safe. I think I'm going to go for the long-range weaponry route, but I also believe that the cavalry vehicle route is a viable one, but that will require devoting quite a lot of tonnage to it, whereas the long-range route doesn't necessarily require devoting a lot of tonnage. You can devote a lot of tonnage to it, there's no doubt about that, but you don't have to. So that's the route that we're going, I think. After giving it a lot of thought over the last few episodes, we'll go ahead and negotiate this. Is this a double priority salvage? No, in fact, it's more efficient to sit here. Perfect. Okay, so we've got the Scorpion here, which is not ideal. It's going to sit back with the AC-5. We'll see how that goes. I expect we're probably going to want to replace the Scorpion. And we just want somebody with good gunnery here. So I think Woody would be great for the Yellow Jacket and Jinx for the Scorpion. Okay, that'll do. Well, let's go ahead and deploy this. Yep, we are aware of that. So yeah, I mean, one thing you could theoretically do, I suppose, is backtrack the Juggernaut Lance into being like 75, 80 tonners, and then the fire support lance would then be a mech lance. That would be probably like 60 tonners, somewhere in there, and then the cavalry lance would be like battle tanks that are all about getting in close with like LBX AC-20s, large amounts of SRMs, things like that. But you wouldn't really be able to use them in flanking roles because they wouldn't really be fast enough. But what you could do is use them like we're using our cavalry lance right now in armor shred roles. So that would be what I'd be looking for. Apparently there's a high tonnage Lyran Lance going to make planetfall here, and we're going to blunt the advance of the invading force and punish any supporting local forces. We'll be the shield that blocks the head of the sphere. If any support units do make a showing, only engage if you're in a good position after dealing with the mechs. Well, we'll engage them anyway, but I get their point. Okay, no allies. This is a trap. This is a terrible location to be in down here. I would rather deploy here and take up a position up on this edge. I do not want to push into this area without having a solid recon first. Okay. So let's deploy here, and we'll see where the enemies are. They are in the caldera.
This is a hellhole.
Nice.
This whole planet could use an air conditioner. Ready to rock, Chief.
Okay. So we're not in combat currently. We will make our way over to this ledge over here. The Jaeger is absolutely going to hop up onto the cliff. Same with the Archer. Same with the Sorcerer. Our full Juggernaut Lance is kind of... They're kind of combination Juggernaut and Fire support right now.
I'll do what I can.
And our Cavalry Lance will start making their way down into the caldera, but I don't want to commit to that just yet. Until we have a little bit of eyes on with our Nidhogg. Okay, we do see somebody there. The J. Edgar is going to come down here in the scout roll, and it will probably get blown up, and we probably won't get it back. But that's okay. The Scorpion is going to sit up here in its new fire support role. Now, it only has 15 AC5 rounds and 16 Yellow Jacket rounds. Okay, that's fine. That should actually be sufficient, right? This Scorpion is just a regular AC5, so yeah, that's plenty of ammo.
Yep.
The Guillotine is going to come down this ramp, but we're not committing to fighting down here just yet. We see an Avatar, Thunderhawk, Boar's Head Atlas, and a Marauder.
Ready to get it on.
Okay.
I've got eyes on hostile reinforcements. They're heading your way.
I don't know where they popped up at. I'm guessing we saw them over here. I don't know that for a fact.
All weapons are go.
Okay, got a couple of flamers in on that Marauder and softened up his rear arc a little. That'll do. Next up is our Sorcerer. And our Sorcerer, yeah, that's an LBX Demolisher. It's way out there, though, so I'm not concerned about it yet. I think we actually go for the Thunderhawk here, unless they have AMS. I don't know if any of these mechs are AMS equipped. It does not look like they are. Yeah, I don't see any AMS there. So I think we want to go for this Thunderhawk because it is centrally located, and we might get some splash damage out of it. But we're mostly looking for armor shred right now. Boom, boom. Nice. So we got some splash damage on the Atlas. We did not on the Avatar, but that's okay. Perfect. The Yellow Jacket is definitely in danger of getting hit by those Gauss rifles, but they won't be in super danger of that for too much longer, in all honesty. Let's get direct LOS with the Archer on their Thunderhawk and Atlas, and we'll just see what we want to do here. Actually, yeah, Armor Shred on the Atlas with a Warlord into the side arc is pretty good here, I feel like. LRM-10 Longfire, AC-10, and Medium Pulse Lasers, that's not actually all that threatening. At least not at this engagement range. Okay.
Yeah.
The Jaeger is absolutely going to step up to the cliff here.
Roger that.
And it is going to join us on shredding that Boar's Head. I want our fire support to just tear this Atlas apart if we can. Is that 2 hits or 1? I think that was 2 hits. But I only saw the floating combat text for 1. The Stone Rhino is, of course, going to commit to going down here. Now that we know that the enemy reinforcements are on this side, I'm perfectly comfortable going in here. If the reinforcements had been here, that would change things. Or even if they had been over here. But the edge of the map here means that that was pretty unlikely. Okay, the Yellow Jacket, it's going to sit up here. And I think we can go for the backstab on this Marauder. I'm going to go for the Warlord, backstab, with the Gauss rifle. That is a structure exposure. We actually hit both of those locations with a Gauss rifle. That's interesting. I didn't know that was possible. Good to know. We will position the Scorpion kind of up here. I'm going to go ahead and Phantom Mech it, and we're going to position it here. In terms of hit odds, I'm interested in seeing ranges here. Okay. We're going to fire on the Marauder just because of hit odds, but that's not necessarily what we ultimately want. And ultimately, this Scorpion is going to be changed, right? This is not going to be the final state. We're going to go ahead and move in with our Nidhogg here. Again, the Nidhogg is in our old vehicle doctrine. We're going to fire on this guy. Do we drop bombs? It will splash damage our J. Edgar. How much do we care? I feel like we don't care a huge amount.
Got the angle. Give me the shot.
Yep, that was worth it. Trading the Marauder for a little bit of front armor on the J. Edgar? Absolutely. Very happy with that trade. Okay, our Marauder is going to head down this ramp as fast as it can, which isn't tremendously quick, of course.
Standing by.
Our Dragon Slayer is going to position itself down over here where it can fire on their Boar's Head Atlas. We'll pot shot it.
Engaging with target.
That was close, but we didn't get the hit.
Target missed.
And I'm completely okay with this. That Demolisher LBX is moving up. It's not going to be able to do much at that range. That's a Devastator as well. We're probably going to want to switch our artillery to working on
What can I do
that.
for you?
The Imp, however, is going to sprint up here.
Got it. Max speed, no shooting.
And we're going to Warlord and fire on that Atlas's side arc again. Right into that weak side.
Roger that. Firing on target.
We did miss with the Gauss, but it'll have to do. So the Atlas will move now. That weak side has been lit into. Let's see what it does. Fires on the Nidhogg. Gets a few of those pulse lasers in, but that's okay. Thunderhawk moves over. Fires on the yellow jacket there, and actually gets 2 Gauss hits at that range. Okay, that's a structure exposure, but the yellow jacket isn't down yet. It's very close.
What do you need?
Very, very close. The Guillotine is going to sprint over here, although I think I'm actually going to reserve it.
Standing
The J. Edgar is going to move behind the Atlas, absolutely, and go for the overheat on him.
Let's move.
That also gives us eyes on over here. So we see 2 Demolishers, so there's a total of 3 Demolishers and a Devastator over there. Okay, that's definitely something to be concerned about.
Firing all weapons.
But overall, I'm not
Orders.
too concerned. We're going to move in behind the Atlas here with the Nidhogg, although I am seeing the one location where it looks like we can get behind the Atlas, we actually can't. So instead, we're going to go in behind the Avatar here. Okay. I'm going to Warlord for clustering. And we will light up this guy's rear arc.
Locked on. We are armed.
That's a structure exposure in the rear arc. Nice.
Receiving you.
Our Jaeger is going to stay exactly where it is. And we are going to fire on perhaps the Thunderhawk here. Or perhaps we'll start lighting up the vehicles back there. What are hit odds like back there? Really, really low. Okay. Yep, we'll go for the Thunderhawk then. Okay. Only 1 hit, but that's fine. We're just looking for that frontal armor shred right now. The Archer is going to step forward right here. And we're once again going to go for the Thunderhawk.
On target.
Okay. Good armor shred. I like it.
Ready for orders.
Our sorcerer has a different job altogether. We are, of course, going to go for this Demolisher LBX way out there. This is probably out of direct range. Yes, it is.
Confirmed.
Light him up. Good armor shred. We'll take that. Absolutely.
Receiving you.
The Dragon Slayer is going to move up and engage over here. We're going to engage that Boar's Head. Light him up. Hit odds aren't great, but we'll accept it. Ooh, that's a dead Boar's Head. That was low odds right there. We will absolutely take that. That was kind of insane. Okay, so our Stone Rhino will move up. And our Scorpion is probably just going to go for the armor shred on the Thunderhawk, right? Like, the Avatar is getting hit from behind, so I feel like we go for the armor shred on the Thunderhawk. Yes, they may blow up the Scorpion. The Scorpion is very temporary. And if they blow up the Scorpion instead of the Yellow Jacket, that's kind of worth, in my book. Okay. So we know they have some Gauss out there.
Light damage, Commander.
In fact, we know they have 4 Gauss rifles. Okay, that's fine too. Completely missing the Scorpion, even though it had no evasive pips. We'll happily take that.
Standing by.
Okay, the Yellow Jacket. The Yellow Jacket definitely needs to position so that its left side is not facing these guys. We're going to position something like this. And we are going to... Oh, you're right, because it's flying. We're just going to brace, even though that doesn't do anything. Hopefully that'll just drop it out of LOS. I was going to shoot there, but... I guess that's the best we can do. The Marauder will step forward over here. And that's the second Gauss rifle. Yep, that's fine.
Showing minor damage.
They have not really unstacked, but they haven't really stacked tighter either. So we'll just position down here with the guillotine, but I'm just thinking about in terms of what we want to do with our sorcerer. Thunderhawk firing on the Scorpion and killing it straight up. Yep, that is expected. So, realistically, the Scorpion doesn't fit into the doctrine that I want, and really neither does the Yellow Jacket. What I really want is indirect fire artillery platforms, but ideally ones that are pretty light, and I'm not sure if that actually exists in any meaningful capacity. What we're going to do is we're going to light into this Demolisher way out there, or more likely we're going to miss. Yeah, we're going to miss. That's fine. Okay. That's completely okay. I don't mind. The Jaeger is, I think, not exactly fine where it's at. Let's see about positioning it. Oh no, it's actually fine. This is actually completely fine. Let's light up that Thunderhawk. Couple of nice armor shred hits.
What do you need?
Okay, the guillotine is now going to make its way over here to engage.
Confirmed.
Excellent.
Good to go.
The Nidhogg is going to back up over here. This may result in the death of the Nidhogg. I have to be very clear about this.
On the move.
And that's okay if it does. We're going to hit this Avatar's rear arc again, and hopefully do some damage.
Firing on rear arc.
We did some damage there, for sure.
I'm receiving you.
The Archer is, I think, fine where it is. It goes for the Thunderhawk. Still working on that frontal armor shred. That was good armor shred. We'll absolutely take that.
Yes, Commander.
Our Marauder is going to come forward over here. I would love it if we could actually angle correctly, but we can't. We cannot fire with our Cavalry Lance just yet. The Stone Rhino will close in over this way. It's kind of just a big Marauder. I like it. The Sorcerer is, of course, going to continue working on these guys back here. Technically, the Gauss Rifle Demolishers are the more threatening things right now. So we're going to fire back at these guys.
Attacking from position.
Good splash damage. We will happily take that.
Yes, Commander.
The J. Edgar is going to move in behind the Avatar. It may die here. That's okay. We will replace it with something that fits our doctrine. And actually, that's a completely fine trade. I was not expecting an engine destruction out of that, but we'll take it.
Waiting for orders.
The Yellow Jacket is going to position over, I think, here.
Affirmative.
It may get shot down, but it doesn't really fit our vehicle doctrine either. We'll go for the Devastator here. Hit odds are low, and yep, we don't get a hit. That's not surprising.
Negative damage. Repeat. Negative damage.
We'll see what they do. Nothing so far. Okay. The Imp will position out over here for a clear shot on these guys way back there. Just checking hit odds. Hit odds are pretty mediocre, and we'll go for this guy because they are technically the best hit odds.
Got it.
And we missed, but we're not shocked by this in the slightest. Next turn, our Nidhogg will definitely come over here to engage these guys.
Standing by.
Our Dragon Slayer is going to be able to just squeak in a side arc shot here. And we'll take that. This is an overheat alert, but that's fine. We actually hit both AC-20 shots there. That was nice. Is that a knockdown? Yes, it is. And remember, we've weakened the front armor on this guy, not the rear armor. The Devastator moves up, fires on the Nidhogg. This is not a surprise. But the AMS actually shoots that down. Is that guy running artillery? I believe he is. The LBX? Yeah, that's going to do some damage. But that's okay.
Reporting heavy damage.
That is Slug LBX. That guy gets back up. And he's probably going to shoot the J. Edgar. No, he goes for the Archer. Okay. That's fine. I'm not going to complain about that one.
Yep.
The Guillotine is going to engage this guy. We can get clear LOS over here. And so we shall.
Copy that.
Get that crit fishing going. And that's a crit.
Target
Fantastic.
destroyed.
One dead target. Next up,
I'm your spaniel.
our Archer is going to begin throwing some LRMs over this way. And I think we'll just go for whatever we have the best hit odds on. 24, 32, and 32. We'll go for the LBX Demolisher.
Firing on target.
Okay, we got some armor shred. But by the way, these are the kinds of vehicles that I would like to see in a cavalry lance of vehicles. This sort of thing right here.
Waiting for orders.
The Jaeger is going to go ahead and go for whoever he has the best hit odds on, which is this same Demolisher.
Engage.
We got a single hit in there, and that'll do.
Receiving you.
Our Sorcerer is going to go for this Demolisher, because it is close to another one. And we'll just armor shred that.
Firing.
One terrible shot and one okay shot.
Ready for orders.
Okay, the Dragon Slayer will sprint up this way and sink heat. And unjam its Ultra AC-20. The Marauder will move up and prepare to engage these guys if they move on to the ridge. We are in a potentially problematic location if they do move on to the ridge. That's something to consider. We're going to move up with our Nidhogg here, which may well be shot down here. I'm fully cognizant of this.
Walking on target.
But that was also a lot of damage into that Demolisher.
My flamer is empty.
I'm fairly certain you don't have a flamer, sir. Okay, we're going to move the J. Edgar up over this way. Unfortunately, this is rough terrain, so we can't make it all the way up. We normally would have been able to.
Good to go.
And our Yellow Jacket is just going to chill exactly where it is, and we're going to potshot this Devastator over here.
Roger.
And we actually got a hit. We'll take that.
Yes, Commander.
The Stone Rhino is going to sprint forward to cover our Cavalry Lance here. The Demolisher is going to move out of the fire. Go for the Nidhogg. This is not a surprise in the slightest. The Nidhogg is the obvious target for them right now.
What can I do for you?
Our Imp is absolutely going to go for this Demolisher. I'm going to Warlord it as well. And we're going to see if we can take this guy down. Ideally before he moves.
Special delivery.
We did get some internal structure damage there, but it's not a kill. This Demolisher moves over, fires on the Nidhogg. We are not surprised by this, but it doesn't hit very hard. Mostly misses
Not much
there.
armor left in that location.
But yeah, the Nidhogg is definitely taking a beating. There's no doubt about that.
Indeed.
The Guillotine is going to sprint forward over this way and mostly sink heat. Excellent.
Standing by.
The Nidhogg is, at this juncture, going to move over here, and I think maybe we bomb this Demolisher, or maybe Just checking positions here. Ah, this is a position.
Full throttle.
We're going to position here, and we're going to... Oh, yeah, we don't have bombs anymore. We're going to go for this Demolisher in its rear arc, which is substantially weaker. This Demolisher, its weak arc is facing our fire support, so we hopefully can take it out before it moves.
Target lock on.
Okay, there's some rear arc damage to that Gauss Rifle Demolisher.
Range missiles.
Demolishers are 100-tonners, right? So I don't think we have the tonnage to accommodate them. I'm going to go ahead and arrow forward this guy and hope that we splash damage and kill this guy.
On it.
That was not great. Okay, it didn't happen, but that's fine. We're going to Warlord and shoot this Demolisher. And that's a kill. Perfect.
Reporting. Vehicle destroyed.
One Demolisher down.
Standing by.
Our Dragon Slayer is going to sprint up over here, of course. Try to close in. Who is next up? The J. Edgar. The J. Edgar is going to join the Nidhogg up over this way, I think. Actually, this is on the left side, which would mean it would be over here. We're going to come over here and see if we can hit this guy through his weak side arc. I'm going to Phantom Mech as well. And we'll see if we get this. We probably won't, but we'll see.
I copy.
We hit all three of those, but not exactly where we needed it. It spread out a little bit. I'm not shocked by this, to be clear. Okay, we could fire on this Devastator, and that is, in fact, exactly what we're going to do. We're going to armor shred this guy. There we go, got some armor shred.
Commander.
And our Marauder is, of course, going to close in.
Okay. Throttle up.
Waiting
And
for
our
orders.
Stone Rhino as well.
Confirmed.
And let's see what they do. They reserved.
Orders.
An interesting choice. Our Yellow Jacket is going to continue attempting to armor shred this guy. I think I'm even going to Warlord it. And that's another hit on fairly low odds. We will absolutely take that.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Our Imp is going to do exactly the same thing, but probably miss.
Affirmative.
Yep, that's a miss, all right. And that's okay.
Ooh. I may need some more time in the simulator.
Okay, let's see what they do. They missed the Nidhogg a couple times, okay? They've still got a couple more to move. Actually, no, that was it for that round. That'll be fine. I think we should probably, given our current positions, armor shred this Devastator. I'm going to go ahead and Warlord it, and if we have the range, I'm going to fire direct, but we don't have the range to fire direct. Now, he did turn his strong side to us, but not anymore. That was a lot of armor shred there. Very nice.
Yep.
Our Jaeger is going to go for the kill on him,
Locked on target.
and that's a kill. Glorious.
That one's gone.
2 left.
Yeah?
Our Guillotine is going to try to close in a bit,
Let's move.
but probably not be too super successful. Our Stone Rhino is also going to close in,
Aye.
Receiving.
as will our Dragon Slayer,
On it.
which is getting close now.
Waiting for
And our Marauder will move on up.
Confirmed.
Excellent.
Commander.
Our Nidhogg is going to remain basically where it's at. Actually, it is going to literally remain where it's at. And we're going to fire the Snub Nose into the rear arc of this guy. It will not kill it, and the Nidhogg likely will die here. The
Receiving.
J. Edgar, literally the same story. I was really hoping that we would penetrate that armor a little bit harder there. But we did get the armor broken,
I live to serve.
and the Archer can now fire on either of these. And I think, given these hit odds, this is our last round of Artemis 4 ammo. We're going to fire on this Demolisher and hope to get an ejection, since he is
I'm out
panicked.
of long-range missiles.
No ejection. That's fine.
Ready.
Our Yellow Jacket can also fire on this guy.
Confirm.
That one's a miss,
No joy.
and that's okay.
I hear ya.
Our imp is potentially going to step out over here where it has a clearer LOS. There we go. And we're going to fire on this guy as well. I'm hoping to trigger an ejection here. I really, really am. But with only the one large laser hit, I doubt it. Okay, so I'm guessing goodbye, J. Edgar. Yeah, that's what's happening there. We knew that that was probably going to be the case.
Armor breach.
Actually, he's still alive. So now they have to choose. He's going to go for the J. Edgar, obviously. Yep, as expected. That's fine. Okay.
Standing by.
The Jaeger is going to go ahead and fire on this guy, obviously. And that's a kill.
And stay down.
Fantastic. And let's see, who moves next? The Archer? The Archer is out of non-deadfire ammo, so it kind of goes into the Cavalry Lance right now.
Yep.
The Guillotine is going to sprint forward. It is next round that we get to move the Victor. And we do barely get a shot on
Running. Got it.
this Demolisher, and we'll absolutely take this. Fire the Ultra AC-20. Light him up. There we go.
Move her down.
Excellent.
Mission successful.
So the real question is, for this new doctrine of vehicles, exactly how much tonnage do we want to allocate to the vehicle lance? Because we can theoretically allocate as much as 400 tons, but that is too much, objectively. That will absolutely remove too much armor from our mechs, unless our mechs aren't fighting. I don't know, maybe we should refit our second lance here to also be long range. Maybe downscale them in size a little bit, move the Stone Rhino into the Juggernaut lance, like drop the Jaeger. Or replace it with like double sniper artillery or something. Insane like that. Yeah, those are some options, and I'm going to think about that. I'm going to grab these Atlas parts. Actually, Demolishers are 80 tonners. I'm going to grab this Demolisher G part. Now, this is Gauss rifles, to be clear. I would rather the LBX AC-20s. But we have a part of those available, and I think we can convert these parts. So let's do that. We also got these parts, so that's wonderful. Yeah, the J. Edgar and Scorpion were both damaged beyond repair. So that indicates to me that if a vehicle gets destroyed, at least a light vehicle, when taking this kind of damage, it is extremely likely to be destroyed beyond repair. Which tells me that we absolutely need to shuffle things around. I'm actually leaning towards our vehicles being the Cavalry Lance now. Just really heavily armored, and then 8 mechs that are slow and big behind it. Somewhere around 3 to 4 with indirect weaponry. And then the rest with direct weaponry that is just long range. Yeah, that's completely fine. That's what I'm leaning towards right now. However, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we might start working on a big refit. Because, honestly, that small vehicle change changes everything. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.